a deep breath in the mirror. You didn't like it when I wore high heels, but I do.
For me, I have trouble turning off my brain. Even when I'm trying to sleep, I just am always thinking about life, where we're all going, what things mean, how things used to be, how things should be. And, you know, I think part of writing songs is because I just have a lot of constantly moving thoughts that kind of sometimes form lyrics, you know, and I'll get like sort of a fragment of a melody and a fragment of a line that hit me at once. Or it'll just be a line, or it'll just be a hook, or it'll just be like a background vocal or something. And I'll just grab my phone and record it into some sort of recording app or something, and then I go back to it if it sticks with me, if I can't stop thinking about that particular idea. But, you know, I like to do things to kind of stop writing and to stop overthinking. Like I'll just sit down and like watch TV and immerse myself in a TV show, or I'll try to bake to get my mind off of it, or you know, those are just things I like to do to relax and just like calm down. Everything's going to be okay. Thinking back on the 3 albums that I put out before Red, every one of them represents something different to me. You know, taking new chances, exploring new ideas. And I'd say for my last album, Speak Now, I wanted to challenge myself by bringing it kind of all down to one songwriter and one co-producer and writing everything by myself. But for this album, I wanted a new challenge because writing by myself had become a comfort zone. I then wanted to throw myself into the opposite end of the spectrum, which was I wanted to write with a lot of collaborators, and I wanted to work with new producers and try different sounds and really learn from as many of my heroes as I possibly could. I think with me, you know, the topic of genre comes up a lot because I am influenced by so many different types of music, so many, and I listen to everything. I find goodness in every type of genre. I find something I love about every type of music. So that definitely gets factored into the kind of music I make. And touring all over the world, hearing what they're listening to in Brazil, hearing what they're listening to in Europe. It's like it can't help but seep into your subconscious and help you to challenge yourself and make something new. As far as what categories my music falls into, I kind of let other people make up their own mind about that, because for me, being put into one genre or another, if I had to pick one, I'd say, of course, it's country. But my music is also being played on pop stations and AC, and all this other wonderful stuff is happening. So I've been very lucky that I've been able to explore musically. I feel so lucky that my label just, you know, listens to my new songs and says, "This is great. You know, we'll just make the record you want to make." For me, one of my favorite things about collaborating with all these people like Max Martin and Johann Shellback and Dan Wilson, Jeff Basker, Butch Walker, it was a learning experience in so many ways to get to see these people make music, because I think it would just be really kind of naive for me to think that, you know, everybody creates in the same way. Everybody has the same process. No, it's like not everybody does things the way that I do them, and I want to see how everyone else does it. I want to learn. I'm 22. I want to learn things. One of the collaborations on the album that I'm really excited about is a duet with Gary Lightbody from Snow Patrol, because Snow Patrol is one of my favorite bands. I love the way that they can sing about emotion, and the way that those guitars come in, and the way that the songs are so big and they're so epic. And it's a duet called The Last Time. And it's about the desperation of kind of the last legs of a relationship, where this guy has left his girlfriend over and over and then come back and begged for another chance, and she's given it to him. And this is a song about them both saying, "This is the last time I'm asking you this." So it's pretty intense.
It begin again. I remember when we broke up the first time, saying this is it, I've had enough. Cause like we hadn't seen each other in a month. When you said you needed space. What? Then you come around.
I think if I could travel back in time and tell myself one thing, I wouldn't want to say anything about all this, because I wouldn't want to ruin the surprise. But I think I just would want to tell myself, sometimes you're gonna beat yourself up because you trust people, and sometimes that comes back to hurt you, but don't ever stop doing it. I think for me, theater is always going to be a huge element to what I want to portray live. For this tour that hopefully we'll get to go on for Red, I always want to top what we did last time. The Speak Now tour was something I'm always going to be so proud of that tour. It was something that made me feel like the crowd was getting the kind of spectacle that they deserved, and they were getting to see the songs in a way that showed them what I meant, and I think I really want this next tour to do the same thing in different ways. I don't want to have the same tricks over and over again. Like, I don't want, just because we had this, this one kind of trick happen, I don't want to keep doing that just because it worked on the last tour. I think for me, I've always been really intrigued by acting. I've always loved it as a form of storytelling. And I've been reading scripts for 5 years, and one thing that I always, try to focus on is this a story that needs to be told? Because I would only want to sign on to do a movie project if it was something that I felt like people needed to hear about. And maybe me being a part of it and helping to tell that story could bring awareness to something, or have people, my fans, go and see a story that they had no idea about. So, as far as, in the future, it's a really busy schedule, but if there was something worth doing, I would definitely do it. I think for me, getting to collaborate with Ed Sheeran was something I was just so excited about, because his music makes me so excited. It makes me so happy. It makes me feel like there's someone out there who can go into these arena performances and stand there with his guitar and captivate an audience. And to get to work with someone like that, who I feel like we got along in such a great way, because we're both used to writing songs on our own. And so you put two people like that in a room together, and it's really fun, because both people are really, pulling their weight. And his voice, I don't think I ever imagined how well the harmonies would mesh together of our two voices, but it just was such an amazing experience that he wanted to be a part of the album. And I can't wait for everyone to be aware of how great he is, because it's already started. Like, people are talking about him and his performance on the Olympics, but I'm really stoked about it getting even bigger and bigger. I think for making Red, I was really thinking about playing those shows in the UK, playing those shows over in Europe and Asia and Australia, and I think it really was on my mind, those fans, and making something that they would like and something that my fans in America would like, and making something that would fit into the parts of their life where they need music the most, and trying to look at the songs from an emotional perspective of which emotions are being sung about. Are we covering all the bases of when people are going to need music?
Never, ever, ever, ever.